Hello, I got Fox Farms Votive number 5. Does this say, where does this? Oh, it says 5 right here. I had Votive number 3, so it's their big double barreled stouts that are surprisingly not that expensive. It's got this 500 ml bottle for 18 bucks, and I got Votive 3 a couple years ago, same price. Yeah, and this is a true double barreled beer. It's not just like they take different barrels and blend them together. They aged beer in bourbon barrels. Can't remember which ones. And they took that beer out of the bourbon barrels and put it in rum barrels. And I guess there are some special rum barrels from Barbados, Foursquare rum or something. This is 16.2%. Yep. And it was released, I guess, about a month or two ago. Haven't had it yet. So let's go for it. I like Votive number 3 a lot. I think that one was finished in sherry cask. So this one was bourbon, and then I didn't say how long they were aged in them, but it was probably about a year in each of them. They said this beer was like over 2 years in the making. So there you go. A very strong one, but no flavorings. It's a double mash stout, so that means you make a really big stout mash, as if you're going to make one beer, and then when you usually would take the wort off, instead of doing that, they just added in more grains, as if they're making another stout, but in an already made stout wort. So that's why it can get this strong, and not much head happening. It's definitely very thick. You can see the legs pretty easily on there, and they're leaving a dark residue. Very, very dark. I don't really know much about what grains they put in here, but you can see it sticking pretty intensely there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of oats in here. Oh boy. Yep, there's some booze. There's definitely bourbon and a lot of brown sugar rum stuff. Just very brown smelling, despite being pitch black. Wow. It's brown sugar, it's caramel, it's coconut. I guess there's chocolate in there too. It smells very good. Vanilla. Nutty. Maybe there's a slight dark fruit note in there. Raisins or dates. Just very, very complex. When I really inhale, I get the booze. Well, there's also a hint of a char thing, but it's very, very big and barrel forward. What is that in there? Whisper of smoke. Yeah, the finish is like, it's fruitier, and this beer, it's a little cold. I should warm it up. I feel like it's fruitier on the tongue. It's not a massive mouthfeel. This is not a pastry stout. I don't even know what you would call this, because you can call it an imperial stout, but it's really up there with the kind of beer that didn't exist before, like Bourbon County Stout. Though this is bigger. Maybe it's a sort of a similar mouthfeel. I don't know if they've ever made a regular Bourbon County Stout that was over 16. I feel like this might be drier than some, but I had the Bourbon County Coffee from last year recently, and I thought that one was like a little bit surprisingly not very sweet and kind of thin. But that's also in comparison to like a Microphone Smells Like Bean Spirit, like a really true pastry stout with lots of additions. But this is really all about the barrel. If you like bourbon and rum, especially rum, it's bringing some unique notes. It's a very nice flavor, surprisingly drinkable. And there's just a little bit of roastiness giving you some bitterness. It's not much of a char thing. And there's some tannins from the oak. But not as much as like a wine barrel wild ale or something like that. It's not drying out my tongue that much. And despite not being ultra thick and sweet and pastry stout, feel like it's got sweetness. And my throat is very warm right now. I wonder if maybe I like the last one I got more. I'll have to watch my review. Like maybe making it this strong, it was more attenuated, so it's like a little less sweet and has a little less body than if it was more like a 15%. But just, 1% in a beer that's 16%, I don't know how much difference that really makes. But it's definitely a sipper. It's just something that's a little hard to do in a short review because I feel like I've had enough sips already. I need to sit on this. And we have like a couple bubbles on the edge. Excuse me. It's got carbonation still, despite being so big and thick, but it's much. It is quite a bit. When you have it on your tongue, it's like not unpleasant at all. It's like one of the darker tobaccos, kind of like that, but just big rum. Spicy. I guess the rum's bringing kind of extra spices. Of course, it's not like it's using Captain Morgan's, which is they add lots of sweeteners and spices to it. It's not really real rum. This is very, very real rum barrel that they use. And the tannins are building up a bit. Getting more spicy, a little more toasty, a little more like toasty, spicy bread, almost rye. There's no rye in this. But I'm really not the best for judging these. I mean, with a lot of these gigantic beers, I feel like it's extremely subjective because it's just kind of ridiculous way out there. There's no thing to kind of rate it upon. There's like, because I've had really great bourbon barrel aged stouts that were 10% and then ones that were 19%, and they all can be very, very different. It's kind of like trying to compare a 6% IPA to a triple IPA. And I tend to just not be really into the super strong ABV stuff, but if I can try one that's not extremely expensive and I'm at the brewery, I'll give it a shot. I have one more bottle that I guess I'll age a while, see what happens. The carbonation definitely helps it. I can feel the bubbles on my tongue. It's not too bubbly. It's not like Coca-Cola, sort of really spritzy carbonation. And as I drink it, it's getting more charred figs. That sort of stuff. I'm getting more char, roasted barley flavors and spiciness and fruitiness as I drink it. Maybe from that the rum, because the rum is really what's coming out more, because it was in a bourbon barrel first, and they put it in a rum barrel. But this review is too long. It's a good beer. I'm not gonna rate it. It's just kind of no one can chug all this. You just get sick. It's like it is like having a spirit. I would say, which I don't really drink much of. That's it. Bye.